Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and findings that came in the May 2024 Sam's Bead Box. It's called Earth's Wonders. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. It's just a couple of videos back, but I just couldn't wait to make something from these beautiful beads that's in this box. I'll also put a link in the description box below to the page where you can sign up for this subscription if you're interested. I have a coupon code, it's Teresa, and that'll save you $5 off your first box if you sign up. And here I have the 6.5mm azurite malachite smooth round beads that came in the box. And here I have the Czech glass heart leaf beads that came in the box. And here I have the Czech glass Czech glass fire polish barrel beads that came in the box. And here I also have the redwood pendant that came in the box. And I have a bail in there from my stash, and I've already attached my pendant to the bail with a little 4mm jump ring. I didn't figure you all needed to see me do that. You've seen me do that a bunch of times. And here I've got some findings from my stash. I've got a couple of pieces of chain, a piece of chain to use as an extender, some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring, two wire guardians, two 2x2 crimp tubes, a lobster clasp, and I have a little leaf charm that I'm going to hang off the extender chain. I'm going to use just a few of the seed beads that came in the box to space out the beads. I think I'm going to pick out the copper ones that are in there and use them. And here's what I've got for my earrings. I've already made one of them, but I'll be using, for both earrings, you would need two of the heart leaf beads, two of the 6.5mm azurite beads, and then I've got the two earth charms that came in the box. I've got you would need two eye pins, of course 2 ear wires, and you would need 2 pieces. I've only got one because I've already made one earring of 22 gauge German style, not 22 gauge, 22 gauge craft wire. It's not German style wire like I usually use. I didn't have any in copper, but I had this copper 22 gauge wire that I got from Art Beads many years ago. I'll see if I can find a link for it and put it in the description box below. I prefer the German style wire, though. I can do a whole lot better with wrap loops with the German style wire, but I didn't have any, so I'm going to be using this for that. I've got my bead stopper. I'm going to be using my soft flex beading wire in fine, and this is copper color. I'll be using probably all of my jewelry tools, my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, both pairs of my crimping pliers, both pairs of my cutters, and I've already used my memory wire cutters to cut my chain. I think that's, and I've got my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. I'll try to find links and put links to everything in the description box below that didn't come in the box. So I'm going to go ahead and string this so that y'all don't have to wait while I string it, and then when I come back I'll show you what my pattern is, and then we'll crimp it. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got this all strung up now, and I'm going to show you what I've got here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. I've got 11 seed beads between all the beads, and I picked out the copper ones like I said I was going to do. And I'm starting with one of the 6.5mm malachite beads, and then a barrel bead, and then another 6.5mm, another barrel bead, another 6.5mm. Then I have 3 of the leaf beads, the heart leaf beads, and then a 6.5mm barrel bead, 6.5mm barrel bead. And then on the other side I've got the same thing. And I put my pendant on here with my bail, and I've got 3 little 11 seed beads in under there so that the bail won't be rubbing directly against the bead stringing wire. So that's what I've got. So now I'm going to crimp. So I've got my crimp bead here, a crimp tube I mean, and my wire guardian. I'm going to come down the other channel of my wire guardian to give myself a little bit more wire to work with here. come down the other channel of my wire guardian. I'm going to go back through my crimp tube. I'm going to hold my wires apart so that they don't get crossed in there. And this little wire guardian for sure needs tucked in. It's really wide apart. Okay, now I'm going to try to hold my wires apart and not let them get crossed in there, because when I crimp I want my wires, each wire, to land in its own little channel, and if they're crossed it won't do that. So now I'm going to take these crimping pliers and go in that part that has the tooth. I'm going to lay the tooth on top, squeeze, and that puts each wire in its own little channel. Now I'm going to go, there's 3 half circles at the top of these crimping pliers. I'm going to go in the middle one because that's the one for the 2x2 crimp tubes. I'm going to lay my crimp in there, squeeze, give it a good tight squeeze. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to, I always just leave it attached to my spool. If I know what my design is going to be, I kind of feel like don't waste hardly as much wire that way. Now I'm going to cut it off my spool, and I'm going to push everything down. And I'm going to take my other crimp tube, I don't know why I keep saying crimp bead, and my other wire guardian. I'm going to go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into my crimp tube, and I like to try to go through a bead on this side if I can, to get my hands out of the way when I'm trying to crimp, and to center that wire guardian over the last bead. And I'm going to try to keep my wires from being crossed on this side too. I'm holding on my wire guardian and pull my wire through. I need to tuck this wire guardian in too though. And I'm going to pull that through. Now I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece. There's no wire showing or anything, but I don't want it to be too tight either. And I just usually leave it coiled up like that, and that keeps it from being too tight. So now I'm going to crimp. So I'm going to take my crimping pliers and use that part with the tooth again. Lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. Now I'm going to turn it around and go on the part with the half circles again. Squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. So that's what I've got now. So hold on, I'll get the rest of my findings and we'll put those on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got the rest of my findings here now. I've got a couple of pieces of chain. These are about 3.5 inches long. This came to about 13 inches. Well, I think this came to about 12, and the pendant was about 1 inch. And then I've got about 3.5 inches of chain. I usually try to make necklaces around 20, 21 inches, something like that. So I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. That is, unless I make really long necklaces like I have a tendency to do. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring, open it up, put my chain on here. I can get it to quit sticking to my pliers. There we go. I'm going to put this side of my necklace on, close my jump ring back really well, I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put this chain on. Put this, well, y'all knew there was no way we were going to get through all that without me dropping something, didn't you? Now I'm going to close my jump ring back. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Put on my lobster clasp in this side of my chain. Close it back up really well. Now I have a 8mm jump ring for my lobster to clasp onto. I think that's 8mm. That might be bigger than that. It looks awfully big. I'm going to put that on here. And I have a little piece of extender chain that's about 2 inches. Close that back really well. And I know y'all know, probably I'm sure all y'all know how to open and close a jump ring, but just in case there's somebody new, we always twist it open and don't pull it open like that. You always twist it open. And when you close it, it's easier. It works better if you go past it and then come back. It's easier to get it to meet if you do that. So that jump ring doesn't look like it's closed very well though. It's better. Now I've got a little 4mm jump ring that I'm going to use to attach my little charm to my extender chain. So that's what I've got. That's my necklace. So now I'm going to get my stuff and make my other earring to match the one I've already made. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make my little earring now to match the little earring I've already made. I've got a piece of 22 gauge wire. It's about 3.5 inches, I think, is what this is. Take my pliers and go down about an inch and a half, maybe an inch and a half or so. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Put my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this part down. Wrap the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, and I use a different pair of cutters for my craft wire and head pins and eye pins than I do for my bead stringing wire. I know it looks like the same pair, but I've got a piece of masking tape on it so that I know which one is which. I'm going to cut off my extra wire here and try to get it cut off better than that. Now I'm going to, these loops are not nice and together like I like them to be. I have a hard time with this wire that's not German style wire. Let's squish them together a little better, make them a little neater. Now I'm going to take my leaf bead and put it on here. And I have determined after making that first earring that I need my loops to face opposite when I do this. I don't know if y'all heard that pop. I don't know what it was. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers. Make my loop opposite the one down here. I'm going to take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me. Having a hard time getting a hold of it. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I don't think I got that opposite enough. I'll probably have to adjust it when I get done here. Okay, now I'm going to bring this part down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get the first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I'm going to keep wrapping, and I'm going to wrap like an extra time more than I usually do because I want that little leaf bead not to move, and he's probably going to move anyway no matter what I do. I really don't want to go that far. I'll just stop there. And I think I need to make sure these are opposite each other better than they are. Okay, now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use the little half circles at each end to tuck in burrs when I cut off wire. I think I might need to use my tweezer pliers here, though it's hard to get in there because of that little crevice in the leaf bead. Straighten my loop up. And then tuck in my burr on this side. Okay. Now I'm going to take my eye pin and open it up. Thread it onto the top of my leaf. Close my eye pin back. I'm going to take my little 6.5 millimeter bead. And this time I'm going to do a simple loop, and I need it to face opposite the loop down here too, for everything to hang right. So I'm going to go a little bit above the bead so that I don't crack my bead. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take my cutters and cut off and leaving about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. Take my round nose pliers and put them here. Make sure there's no wire sticking out on this side. And I start down here farther on the barrel to start my loop. And then once I get it started, I go down here to the tip so that I don't make such a huge loop. And that's pretty close. Hardly ever are my loops facing the way I want them to be. That was pretty close, but I need to adjust it a little bit there. So that's what I've got now. Now I'm going to take the 4mm jump ring. I'll find the slit in it. Open it up. Put on my little charm. Put it on the bottom of my earring. Close my jump ring back. So now I just need to open up my ear wire. And I'm going to make sure to thread this on the right way so my charm is facing the right way. Close my ear wire back. There's my little earring to match the little earring I already had made here. So hold on and I'll try to get all this laid out together so we can see it, and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace and pair of earrings made with some of the beads from the May 2024 Sam's Bead Box. These are just some beautiful beads. Of course, the beads in his boxes are always beautiful. This is a really great box, especially if you enjoy working with really good quality Czech glass and gemstone beads, because it's just full of really high quality Czech glass and gemstone beads, and they always do such a great job of curating it so that all the beads go so well together. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box below to the page to sign up for the box if you're interested, and that coupon code will save you $5 off your first box if you sign up. And just to remind you, if you decided you wanted to sign up and you wanted to get the June box, you would need to sign up by June the 9th. If you sign up after that, your first box would be the July box. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.